So, Surratt law practice. I'm an attorney in Nevada. I also have a license to practice law in California. So I can assist with both states. I can give you the answers that you need. This is my son. And the whole reason he's up there is because, isn't he cute? This is the point, right? Kids, cute kids. Yeah, he has a great smile. I'm a cowgirl. I ride horses. Just to give you a little bit of flavor of the fact that I'm not just a boring lawyer. And I do have some personality every once in a while. I have offices in Las Vegas and Reno. Again, like I said, I have a California license. I've been doing reproductive technology law for 11 years now. I'm a fellow with what we call, and this is a mouthful, American Academy of Assisted Reproductive Technology Attorneys, which means you are pre-screened to ensure that you have sufficient knowledge and number of cases and experience in the reproductive world. For lawyers in the United States, it is to become a fellow is what you strive for. So you either become a plaintiff's attorney fellow, a matrimonial lawyer fellow, or a reproductive fellow, and to demonstrate that you actually have the knowledge and skill to do this area of law. One of my claims to fame is I did draft Nevada's law. I proposed it to our legislature, and I got it lobbied and passed. And it is the whole reason why we have a complete turnaround and a whole new ability to offer services in the world that we never could offer before. Nevada started with a very narrow, tiny little paragraph of a statute. We were one of the first in the world to have a surrogacy statute. It was back in the 90s, and what happened is we never changed it. We never updated it, not until 2013 when we passed our new law. It went into effect on October 1st. It is extremely liberal, extremely comprehensive, and covers everything in reproductive technology. It is a gender-neutral, marital status-neutral statute. It's all in one body of law, and it is procedurally progressive. What I mean by that is it actually tells us how we turn you into parents. Many surrogacy statutes, including our old statute, just said you can do it. You can do surrogacy, and then it stopped. And some states have no law. They allow you to do surrogacy, but they have no law in the books that actually says that this is how, and this is where you go, and this is the statute you utilize. It's just silent, although it's permissive in those states. So one of the questions is about what state, where do we go? We're talking about Nevada. We've been really concentrating on Nevada. The number one reason for this room that we're concentrating on Nevada is because of what is happening in Israel with your changes in law, and what we're really honing in on and focusing on is the fact that we have written law that is permissive in Nevada that allows you to do surrogacy. That's something you can point to, move back to Israel and say, see, it was legal in Nevada. That's the purpose behind that. Now, there are states in the United States that you do not want to go anywhere near. I don't care how good the surrogate is. It should be the most ideal baby-making hips on the planet. Do not go to certain states in the United States. It will be bad for you. So it is critical that you constantly pay attention to where your baby will be born. That is the law that we will apply to your parentage. So, in the old days, we used to take carriers all the time, and they would live in Nevada, but in the third trimester, they would relocate to California and live with the intended parents for the last trimester of the pregnancy, just so we could avoid the old Nevada law, which discriminated against same-sex couples. The new law does not discriminate, but the old law did. That was extremely high risk, because if she accidentally gave birth in Nevada under the old statutes, you wouldn't have had parentage at all. We would have had a huge problem on our hands. And we would have been going through adoption, and only one of the partners, the genetically linked one, it would have been a complete mess. So that's still the case with many of the states in the United States. California is very similar to Nevada. It has very progressive laws, but the difference between Nevada and California, remember I have a license in both, is California you go to these 10 different places. You go this statute, you pull this statute, this case, this Supreme Court case, you put them all together, and that says you can have surrogacy. And that you can have surrogacy for same-sex couples. In Nevada, you go to one spot. Here's our statute. It has it, it's gender neutral, it's progressive, we now have same-sex marriage in Nevada. has to use.
Elvis, what about
Huh?
the Elvis?
Yeah. So, Nevada, it's all in one place, and gestational carrier agreements are enforceable in Nevada. We've been talking about, there's the word surrogacy, and then there's gestational carriers. Historically, we were calling surrogacy, traditional surrogacy, and I have a slide on it, but I'm going fast. So, when a woman uses her own eggs and she's biologically related to the child, we would often call that traditional surrogacy. That term, the word surrogacy, got kind of intermixed with this theory of a gestational carrier, is she's just carrying her baby, but she's not genetically linked to the child. When you look on the internet, you're going to see those terms intermixed together. Traditional surrogacy, gestational carriers. We try really hard to just talk about gestational carriers now to differentiate from a woman who's using her own eggs. In Nevada, she cannot use her own eggs. In Nevada, your requirements are that you have to have a contract. It has to be in place before she starts using medications, and that you have independent legal representation from your carrier. She must have an attorney for the contract phase. Contract needs to be notarized. There's some requirements of things that have to be in that contract, and you have surrogacy in Nevada. Again, it doesn't matter if you're married. You can be one intended parent. You can be two intended parents. You can be married. You can be unmarried. All covered. All part of Nevada. There's no other exclusions other than don't use her eggs. Don't let your carrier be genetically related to the child. Traditional surrogacy, what I was just talking about. You do not have to be married. Pre-birth orders in Nevada. This kind of goes back to another issue regarding what state is the proper state, and can I have a carrier in another state? Sure, you can have carriers in other states other than the state of Nevada, but part of what's going on here, and part of the network that we're creating, and Mikal's here, she's going to talk about Israel some more, and I spent all morning with Israeli attorneys so that I got this, we know what our system is that assists you so that dual citizenship is your end goal. When you come home, you have a child who has, because your child's born on U.S. soil, will have U.S. citizenship, but we're also looking for Israeli citizenship, that you can come home with your baby. And so part of that goal is really looking at what orders do you need. Nevada is not the only state in the United States that will make you parents. But one of the things that we need for Israel is we need to have a post-birth order. You need an order that is after the child is born. Nevada and California both allow that, but here's the difference. In Nevada, getting orders, whether it's before the child's born or after the child's born, is extremely easy. There's no requirement that you go to a hearing. You don't have to appear in front of the judge.
What is an order?
A court order from a judge, a judgment.
Okay, judgment I understand. I want to know what is
Judgment.
Okay.
In order to get a judgment in Nevada, it's very easy. No one has to go to the courthouse and appear in front of the judge. It's just simple paperwork. Nevada always looks at you as the parents. That's all they care about. Whatever they have to sign to make your life easier, they're going to do. California, which is always kind of that counter, hey, we can go to California. Sure, you could go to California, but there was a slew of cases, there was a grouping of cases that had to do with the Ukraine and a fraud baby selling scheme that really put a damper on California and tainted the surrogacy industry a little bit. Those judges have now started to require hearings, make things more logistically difficult. What we're doing for you guys, for Israelis, is we're getting a pre-birth order because I want you to go to the hospital and hold that piece of paper up and say to the hospital, I'm the parent. Surrogate's not the parent. I'm good to go. I get to go into the nursery. I get to have an armband on my wrist that says I'm the parent of that child. I get to make all the medical decisions. If I wait till after the child's born, you don't have that piece of paper with you when you walk into the hospital. Works perfect for Nevada, does not work perfect for Israel because you need a after the birth judgment in order to come back here. So I'm going to get you both. I'm going to get you one from before and I'm going to get you one afterwards, which is why part of the reason Nevada is so ideal, because Nevada doesn't care, I'll give you all you want. You want 10 orders for judgments, they'll give them to you. Whatever you need, every variation, we'll
Let's
do.
pay the casinos.
Yes. More is better in Nevada. Bigger, brighter, more lights. California is much more difficult for me to accomplish that for you. Is it an impossibility? No. I just have to jump through more hoops. I have to take more steps. I have to work really hard at which judge, how, and when I'm going to get it for you. There are other states, getting those 2 different orders is going to be an impossibility, even if it's permissive in those states. So be very careful about where your surrogate is, who we're using, how they were screened. Get the legal advice you need to make sure we accomplish what we're trying to accomplish here, which is Nevada and Israel both. And we are successful.
And something very fundamental. We're talking about Nevada law, how amazing it is, whatever, but the fundamental thing is that the child has to be born in Nevada.
For Nevada law to apply, yes, the child should be born in
So
Nevada.
which means that it limits our surrogates' resources, because he has to be from Nevada or agree to live in Nevada for the term of the pregnancy, or to come to Nevada for the child to get born.
Correct, but it goes back to, you can use California, you need to expect additional procedural steps that have to occur. You could potentially use other states, but we need to very carefully look at those states, each one, each time, and determine legally if it's a good idea for you or not. We'll reach out to a lawyer in that state and determine whether or not we can meet the needs for not just Nevada for your parentage, but for Israel and what you need for when you return to Israel. Yes, it somewhat limits the pool a little bit, but part of what we're doing, okay, so I was born in New Mexico. I was raised in Nevada in a town called Winnebago. It's a very small town, but Nevada is a unique state, and this is what I always tell people. It is very difficult to find anybody who was born in Nevada that lives in Nevada. What that means is their extended family is somewhere else, and they moved to Nevada. So grandma is not watching this young lady get pregnant and carry somebody else's baby. And that's a big deal. When extended family's sitting there watching and grandma's getting attached to your belly when you're carrying somebody else's baby. So already you've raised the number and the likelihood of surrogates in the state of Nevada. The next thing about Nevada is we are a very independent kind of an attitude state. I leave you alone, you leave me alone. We have legalized gambling. We have legalized prostitution in Nevada. We have everything, we have a lot of things that no one else talks about, okay?